Hi everyone and welcome to Learn Excel with Ramon. In this session, I'm going to show you how to create pivot tables. So pivot tables are very helpful to summarize the large amount of data and display the data in different tables the way that you want to see it. So it's very helpful. It has this filtering aspect of it that you can really play around with your data and visualize it the way you want. So for this example, I've created some data here, completely randomly created, and I'm looking at the sales by certain salespeople. I'm looking into by location, four main cities in Canada. I have a department breakdown, organics, dairy, bakery products. You can see it here. I've summarized it by year. Any time that any of the salesperson made a sale in whatever amount allocated to a certain year within a certain department to a certain location. Say that this is a major grocery distributor center, something like that. So the data is here for us to create a pivot table. I have, I believe, 100 data points. Again, you see the repeats there of the cities and the departments and the years, of course. I want to summarize this. So yes, 101 minus the header or the first row, 100 data points. So how do we go about creating the pivot table? Well, to create the pivot table itself, it's a very, very easy process. So all you're going to do is to go to Insert. And once again, I am using Excel 2013 for Windows 10. That's my version. You may see on your menu, you may have a slightly different type of menu, but I'm pretty sure you're going to find the pivot table very easily. Insert Pivot Table. Normally, Excel will already select all of the data available. Now, it's important that once you have the data that you want to pivot, you do a little bit of a cleanup. A lot of times you have like empty cells and additional rows that don't belong there, some odd figures. You want to make sure that the data are as clean as possible. So your pivot table is going to look very nice as well. All Excel is doing here is bringing the raw data into a more summarized way. But if you bring some odd figures and some weird things here, it's going to show in a pivot table as well. So as a rule of thumb, Excel will select. You can see here that dynamic dotted line moving there. You can see if I scroll down just to show you, it already selected my entire data set, all the fields, all of the data available. If you need to pick a different selection, feel free to do so. The point is, when you go into the pivot table, you're going to filter this anyway, so it's really up to you. I normally just insert the pivot table, come with the selection, hit OK. Now, it created a pivot table on a new sheet. So I have the raw data on sheet 1 here, and then it produced the pivot table, which is blank for now, on sheet 3 here, or sheet 2. So starting with the fields, you can see here on the fields that are available are basically the same headings that you had on your raw data. That's exactly what's bringing to the pivot table. So those are the things that you want to play with in terms of creating your pivot table. You have the fields here, and you also have the areas of the pivot table that you want to use. So I'm just going to do different things here and show you how this is done. It is a lot simpler than a lot of people think. A lot of people are very intimidated by pivot tables. It really is not a big deal if you know how to do it step by step. So I'm going to start just as a starting point. I'm going to pick the department field. So you want to click on it and drag it down. Click and hold. Drag it down, and I'm going to place here on the roles area. So you can see here that my department fields came on the left side here on the rows because I asked Excel to do that for me. And then if I want to put more information here, for example, I want to see the sales into the area here that says the sum of values. So now I see the sales. Now the format here, it's just a numerical or a number format. I can always go back to my, say, $sign here and make this a dollar number. Pick the decimal points, and that's about it. Once you click out of your table, your menu goes away. Once you click in your table, your menu comes back up. So I simply just listed the department and then the sales. But let's start playing with this a little more. By the way, on your sum of values, right now I have sum, but I can also do average or count. I can go into value field settings here and change what I want to see. For now, I want to keep sum, which is the default, the standard, when you create a pivot table. So let's say, for example, I want to pick location. I'm going to click and drag it into the filters. Now I have a filter. You can see up here, let me make this a little bigger. You can see up here that I can pick a certain location, say for example Toronto, and then I have the sales already filtered by that location. If you want to pick more than one location, I can go to select multiple items and say that I want to do Montreal and Vancouver. Now I have a new display of the information. This is what is so cool about pivot tables. You can really play with the data and make it very elegant, very nice to see, put it in whatever report you want. What else can we do? What about the columns? Let's say that I also want to see, let's pick all locations for now, all of the departments, but I also want to put in the year on the columns. So now I wanted to see it by year. So there you have it, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 2018, 2019, and the grand total. So now I have all locations by department, by year. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's get rid of the field. If you can just grab the field there with click and hold, you can just kind of throw it out here with the X. See, it goes away. Let's say that I want to filter by salesperson, by location, and by salesperson. Now I have two filters. So I can go into the location. Let's say, for example, I want to see only Calgary, Montreal, and I only want to see, say, Barbara. So there we go. Because I don't have the year in any place here, it's basically showing me all the years that I have in analysis, the 5 years, for those two locations, for Barbara, by department. So obviously you can do the same with the year. You can place it here in the filter as well. If you want to see, well, let's just see 2015, and Barbara didn't sell anything in 2015. Let's see 2017. There's a little bit of sales there. So you see that by dragging these fields and simply placing them in different areas, you do the whole thing. So it's a very easy way of organizing large amounts of data and displaying this data into very nice, easily made different tables. So that's pivot tables. Very cool function. I hope you've learned something here today, and I hope to see you back here.